Everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be doing my Valorant Fantasy League team. I'm going to go through and just pick all my players and kind of explain my thought process. And then at the end, kind of show you what my overall team looks like. So this is like TMV's new like Valorant Fantasy League thing. It's still in beta, but you can go check it out on his channel. He'll have links to all the stuff there. Um, and yeah, I just thought this was pretty interesting and would be fun to do. So if you guys enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, everything like that. And let's get right into this. So I already had my whole team planned out in advance. So I'm just going to go through and just show you guys the players that I picked. Um, so we'll start with my first Duelist player and the player that I just had to have on my team, especially at this price point, which is May. I mean, he is one of the best duelists in Pacific already. Obviously, he's not on the best team, so he's not going to get those like win points necessarily as much as maybe your Zekins, your Durkas, your Ospas, players like that. But I mean, I just think he's incredible and his stats will be very good anyway, so it really won't matter too much. Then my other duelist, which I'm actually reconsidering now that I said that. So I originally went with Oxy. Oh wait, I need to, okay, let's see. I haven't actually done this part yet. So where's May? Add him first. Add player. There we go. Okay. So yeah, originally I had picked Oxy, but I don't really think Cloud9's going to get very many of those like big map wins necessarily and get me the map win points. So I'm kind of considering going with Zeus. I might do that instead. It's only like a half point difference, so I'm not really going to be able to get too much else instead. But we can maybe take a look at the rest of this throughout and see where I can get better. So yeah, we'll go with Zeus instead of Oxy, who, I mean, he was really good for Foot. He's going to get those map wins, especially when Foot is playing against those bad teams. They'll be able to destroy them, and I think Zeus will have really good stats throughout that. Then on Initiator, I picked two, like, kind of middle of the pack, at least in terms of points players. I went EU, who I think is arguably the best Initiator in Americas. At 9.5 is kind of crazy, like, comparatively to, like, you have Trent at 12, which I think is fair. I guess in terms of flex players, I would have Jonah ahead of him as well. But I guess, yeah, he is third in Americas, right? Trent, Jonah, Cowanzine at 10. Really? That's a little high. I know he had a really good tournament at kickoff, but still. Yeah, I picked EU, who I just think is really good. And I'm going to be honest, I had to have a 100 Thieves player in here. And if it was going to be anyone, I was going to pick him. Because Asuna doesn't really have good stats that much. I don't think Cryo is really that good comparatively. Bustio is never going to get any stats ever. And then who else plays on this team? Xander. I guess Xander kind of just got outbid, I guess. Like I picked other players over him. I just would rather have these guys. So yeah, I went with EU. And then the other guy that I went with is Cushy, also at 9.5. I mean, his mechanics are really, really good. And I believe his stats were pretty decent at kickoff. That could be wrong. Yeah. Really good against DFM. Really good against Genji. Pretty good against Team Secret. And not great against Nongshim when they got eliminated. But overall, he was really good, and I think he'll be kind of one of the better initiators within Pacific at least, and be a really good value at this 9.5 price point. Then my controllers. The first guy that I went with, I realized that I need a G2 player on this team because they're going to get those big, like, multi-round map wins over a lot of different teams. So I ended up going with Valen. I think that's a pretty safe pick because Jogamo was 15 in the duelist role, which I just didn't really want to spend that much on. Trent, I originally had Trent on my team, and then I realized that I needed to go cheaper at Initiator. So I ended up dropping down to Cushy instead, which I thought was like, I wanted to pick Trent, but it just kind of felt like it was too much to buy him. And then I thought Leaf's at 13, so I'll give a bit of a spoiler. I didn't pick him. That's just a little too pricey to be able to get like actually decent wildcard players. But next to Valen at controller, I went with Sugetsu, who was really good in kickoff. Like, I don't even know if it was necessarily statistically he was really good. Which I guess, yeah, he was pretty good versus Giants, really good against Vitality, and pretty good against. Yeah, he was pretty consistent across the series. I thought he was really good overall as well. Just like not statistically, I thought just like individually he was a pretty good player. So I ended up picking him there. Also, I think Carbon Core does have a chance of being a pretty good team and getting those win points. Same thing with RRQ. I tried to pick like some of the better teams as well. I was pretty cognizant of that. Um, Even though I did end up picking May, which, I mean, they were the best team with a duelist above like 11, I believe. Like it wasn't really that close either. Like all the shit teams were kind of at the bottom. Then for Sentinel, I did end up going cheaper with this role because there were two players that I think were really good values. Number one, Flashback at 8 is a complete steal. I have no idea how he is this low. But you get a DRX player in here as well that should get you those win points as well, which should be really good. They're usually very dominant within Pacific, so that's a good thing. And then the other guy that I picked, definitely our worst team that I've picked yet, but is Westside, who I think is very clearly the best Sentinel, like 7.5 down. Like it's not even really that close. I guess Mini from Gentlemates maybe, but I do think Giants will be slightly better of a team, and I also think Westside is the slightly better player. Then for my wild cards, so I now have 6.5. All right, I had a player that was 6.5. I had a player that was 7, and a player that was 8.5. So I could go up and maybe pick a player in like the nines, in the 9 range instead of the 8.5. I could get Ash instead. Bang Persia or Cloud instead of. Well, I'll pick the two guys that I definitely want. So go all the way down here. Governor is listed as a Sentinel player at 6.5. I think he'll be. I don't think he'll be playing Sentinel, but I think he'll be really good on whatever he ends up playing. I very much believe in him, and I think that 6.5 is a pretty big steal. Then my other guy was Akame at 7, I believe. Where was he? There he is. So I'll end up picking him. I could either go, I could upgrade on him and go into 7.5 as well. Runner, Vic, Vinny. Yeah, I'm not huge on any of these guys. I would rather go Akame than Jinbong, even though I think Jinbong will be a little bit more consistent. I think I would rather upgrade my next 8.5 player into a 9, probably. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll keep Akame. Just, I mean, another really good mechanical player on that. Like, I guess it's not really an initiator role; it's more of a flex role. Like he'll end up playing the Vise as well in there, and just some other weird stuff. But he's very, very talented. I think the more he develops in tier 1, the better he'll get. And then yeah, we have how many points left? 9. So yeah, we can take a 9 player, or we can take an 8.5 player, whatever I really want to do. So yeah, I could go Persia. I think Texas in consideration here. Um, let's see. I mean, I could go Ethan instead. Like I considered some of these other guys as controller role, like Cadavra maybe, but I did go Sylvan just because of the team diff. But like, I don't know, Persia's stats are probably going to be pretty good. I think he's insane. I think Nongshim's going to be decent. I don't think they're going to be anything crazy, but they'll be good. I think Lev, I'm not a huge believer in that team, so I think that rules out Tex. For me, it's between these three, I think, and Bang, Persia, and Cloud. I already have a Giants player. So I don't want to get like double punished for that blue thing. Um, do I mean, do I think Persia will be that much better than Melzer to justify the win points? I mean, I don't think T1's going to be like mega dominant during the regular season as much as I think they'll be dominant during the rest of the season. Like I could just pick Melzer or not Melzer. Jesus. Sylvan. I don't know why I get those guys confused. They're kind of just blast smokes players, even though Sylvan is definitely a lot better. This is really tough because like I don't think the win points justify or losing out on the win points justify getting like maybe the slightly better stats that these guys would give me. Let me look at Cloud real quick. Cloud did really well against BBL, or well against BBL, I'd say. I'd say well against Carmine Core as well. Did why was he playing Vise? Yuck. Why didn't Runner just play it? Whatever. I'm gonna go Persia. I think just because I really like Persia. Really, that's kind of the tiebreaker there. So yeah, this is my team. I got May, Zeus, EU, Cushy, Sagetsu, Valen, Westside, Flashback, Governor, Persia, and Akame. And so the IGL tag you can put on any player, no matter what, and you can make them your IGL for that week, which will give you double points on that player. I just gotta look at who people are playing. So DFM's playing Global, Zeus's or Foot is playing Koi. EU is playing Sentinels. Cushy's playing Nongshim. Sagetsu is playing BBL. Valen is playing against Furia, I believe, which I think is going to be, yeah. GX is playing Vitality, so I'm not picking Westside. Flashback's playing Paper X, so I'm not going to play him. Apex, who are they playing? They're playing Heretics, so I'm not going to play Gov. Persia's playing RRQ. Akume's playing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Valen. He'll give me the double win points. He'll have good stats. I think that'll be a pretty good pick there to go double. I mean, if one of these guys pops off, they pop off. So these will be the changes, I guess. Let me know what you guys think of my team in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.